A high school guy who doesn't trust girls anymore has been tricked too many times by girls who just wanted to get close to his good-looking older brother. After all that, he decides he'll never trust a girl again. Then a pretty girl in his class suddenly starts talking to him a lot. Is she just trying to get to his brother too? Or does she actually mean something else? Hello and welcome to another manga spotlight. Today's series is She's Likely Aiming for My Older Brother by Issei Maruno. And this is actually a shoujo series, which might be the first for this channel. I was actually going to cover another series, which was going to be an isekai, but I figured, you know what, I've been doing way too many isekais, so let's do something different. So this is a romantic comedy school life series. And as you can probably guess by that premise, it's about a kid who, anytime a girl comes up to him, they're only trying to get close to him so that they can get closer to his older brother, who's more popular, more handsome, and stuff like that. So because of that, he doesn't trust girls anymore. But now a new girl is trying to make moves on him, and he's kind of wondering what the hell's going on. So we have our main character. His name is Yuta. And Yuta basically explains that there are things in this world that you should never trust. I made that mistake before, and in the end, it was always me who paid the price. And that is girls who are kind to me. And he explains that he's a high school boy who doesn't trust any girls because he's been deceived and taken advantage of time and time again by girls that are trying to get close to his good-looking older brother. And so we just have like little moments where girls will approach him, give him love letters, but it turns out it's for his brother. Or they'll like befriend him so that they can get closer to his older brother. There are even times where they'll be nice to him in hopes of getting closer to his older brother, and he thinks, oh, maybe they're being nice to me because they actually like me. So he will ask them out and they reject him. And so because of that, he doesn't want to put his trust in girls anymore. But there is one girl whose name is Izumi, and Izumi keeps approaching Yuta. Like she goes up and she says good morning, and he just kind of whispers morning back, but she keeps saying good morning because she can't hear him. So it's kind of like a funny moment where she's just constantly hagging him or saying good morning, and he eventually snaps and he's like, all right, good morning already. And she just kind of smiles at him. She says, right, good morning, and then she leaves. And he's just kind of like, what the hell is that for? Like, why am I getting all flustered? I'm not going to fall for this again. He just kind of comments about how she keeps approaching him a lot lately. And she is known for being cute. A lot of people say that she would be a perfect match for his older brother because she's popular, she's smart, she's good looking. Basically, everyone thinks that her and his older brother would be a perfect match. So it's basically just like she's being very nice to him. And he has no idea how to feel about that because, again, he's been burnt way too many times in the past. And I kind of like how this is done here. Like, it gives a reason for our character to not pursue women. Because one of my biggest issues with romance when it comes to manga is that a lot of times the male characters are just very, very spineless. And I can get being shy. Like, as someone who's shy myself, I can understand having trouble approaching people and talking to them, much less women. But there are moments where it's just like the girls are literally throwing themselves at you. Like, they literally straight up say that, you know, they like you. Like, I don't know how much more obvious they can be. And then the boys are still like just being very, very naive and flustered and shy to the point where like they scream if a girl even makes contact with them. Like, even a girl just trying to hold our hands freaks them out. And to me, that just, I don't know, I just find it kind of annoying. But I like this explanation where it's like, no, he doesn't have a problem with girls, or at least he didn't at first. The problem was that eventually he got to the point where girls were just using him to try to get closer to his brother. So now he has an excuse for why he doesn't trust girls or why he's kind of standoffish when it comes to them being nice to him. It's not because he's super shy and flustered or anything like that. It's because he's been used way too many times that he doesn't want to get used again. And I just kind of like some of the comedic moments that we have here. Like, we have a moment where I think it's PE time, and Yuta's just chilling out in the back with some of his friends, and they're watching Izumi playing basketball. And the male friends are basically talking up about how awesome she is, how she's mysterious, how it's part of her charm, how she's really good at everything, including sports. And we see Yuta, and he just kind of stares at her, and she's terrible at sports. Like, we see her and she's trying to bounce the basketball and she's just kind of like bouncing with the ball and she's kind of struggling. And Yuta's just kind of like, what are my friends talking about? She's not good at sports. She has no idea what she's doing. There's a moment where she's like asking for a pass and he's like, why are you asking for a pass from there? You're not going to score from there. You're way too far from the hoop. And then she throws the ball and completely misses. He's just like, see, I told you, you completely missed it. And then she like looks at him and she looks very pleased with herself. And he's like, why is she so pleased with herself after missing a shot? So it's just kind of like humorous. And I just kind of just love how we're taking this trope of everyone is looking up to this character. It's something that we've seen so many times in manga where we have like the nerdy kid or the otaku, or just like the wallflower kid that no one pays attention to, and the most popular girl either in the class or in the school has a crush on them, and everyone thinks about how perfect they are. And that's what his friends are doing here, where they're talking up how perfect she is, and we see that she's not perfect at all. Like, she's completely terrible when it comes to sports, but she's so like pleased with herself and thinks that she's doing so great, and it's just kind of played for laughs. But she keeps looking his way and like smiling at him and stuff, and he's just kind of wondering like, what is this? Like, this girl has come up to me so many times in the past, but not once has she ever brought up my brother. Is she just lying? And is all this niceness because she's trying to get close to my brother, or is there something else going on here? And we have a moment where he sees his brother, and this girl's like handing him a notebook or something, and everybody's like, oh wow, look at him, he's so handsome. Everybody rushes over to surround him and just shower him with praises, to the point where they actually stampede over Yuta and walk all over him. And he basically just says that for as long as I can remember, any girl who showed interest in me was really after my brother. They'll act friendly, pretend like they know me, while their eyes are fixed on my brother who's ahead of me. That's why I can never trust them. And then we see Izume, and Izume is kneeling in front of Yuta and hands him a handkerchief. She says, you can use this if you want. And he's just wondering why. Like, why aren't you going after my brother? And she just kind of looks at him for a moment, looks at her brother, and then says, why? It's because I found you. That's all. Anyways, take the handkerchief and give it back to me when you're done, because it's my favorite. And he's just freaking out because he's like, there's no way. There's no way she can mean this. There's no way she's doing this because she is actually fascinated with me. This has got to be some kind of trap. I won't let myself be deceived again. And that's kind of how the story plays out, where it's her doing nice things for him, her talking to him, her looking his way, and him just not knowing how to respond to that, because he doesn't know if she's doing this because she's actually fascinated with him, or if she is just using him to get closer to her brother. And I just like the way that they act around each other, especially Izume. Like, Izume just kind of has this personality that's kind of aloof, but at the same time kind of smug, but in an endearing way. So for example, we have a moment where Yuta fails a test. He has very, very poor grades. So he's going to be allowed to do a makeup test. So he's in the library and he's studying, and he's just doing very terrible. Like, he's not able to understand what's going on. And she shows up and she's like, here's what you got to do. Like, she starts helping him, and she looks at his paper. She's like, oh, you failed. He's like, yeah, whatever. What about you? And she just flashes her test score, and it's a perfect 50 out of 50. And he's just kind of like looking away. And she like smugly just kind of shoves the test in his face, basically saying like, I'm really good at this. I can help you if you want. So I just kind of like that reaction where she's not super bubbly. She's not tsundere. She's like this weird mixture of like naive mixed with some smugness, but it's in a very charming, lovable way rather than an annoying way. The series just pretty much follows her being kind to him, and him trying to figure out if there's a double meaning behind this. If she's doing this because she's just a kind person, if she's doing this because she has feelings for him, or if she's doing this to deceive him like all the other girls have deceived him in the past. And she's only doing this to try to get closer to his brother. So far, there's only been 2 chapters at the time of this recording. Well, I guess 2 chapters and a like Omaki chapter. But it's been a pretty fun ride so far. It's very kind of cutesy, lighthearted comedy without a lot of like unnecessary drama. That's another pet peeve I kind of have with romantic series. I get like you kind of have to have drama. Every series, no matter what it is, has to have some kind of drama in there because, well, I guess slice of life, you could pull off not having drama. But even slice of life might have like a little moment. You kind of have to have like a moment where you kind of throw a wrench into things just to make the story a little bit more fascinating. The problem with a lot of romance series is like unnecessary melodrama, where it's like, you know what, you have characters cheating on each other, you have characters pushing off, revealing their feelings, you have characters that go through so much turmoil when a simple communication would have solved everything. You don't really have that here too much. It's just pretty lighthearted, fun, romantic comedy at the moment. That's She's Likely Aiming for My Older Brother. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can read it for yourself, like I always do. I mention this because I always have people asking me, like, where can I read this? And I'm like, it's in the video description. I always put where you can read it in the video description. So yeah, you can go down to the video description and click the link and you can read it for yourself. I highly recommend checking it out. It's pretty fun so far. And if you have any recommendations, let me know, because yeah, so far the stuff that I have bookmarked to review in the future are like isekai, but I'm like, I kind of want to do things other than isekai because I've done a lot, but I really don't know what to pick. So if you have anything that I should check out and do a video on, let me know. I'm pretty much down to read anything. Like, I pretty much read every single genre that there is. Yeah, my only, I guess, rule would be maybe something that's not super popular. So don't be like, oh, do a video on Bleach. Because it's like my whole Manga Spotlight series is to try to spotlight series that most people might not have heard of. Series that's, I hate using this word, but anime normies wouldn't have heard of. So I'm not going to do series on Bleach or One Piece or Naruto or anything like that. I want to focus on stuff that isn't all that popular if I can, or things that the average person wouldn't have heard about. But I'm kind of rambling. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.